Hi, Chris. How are you? Hi, everybody. Oh, Renee's on already. Hi, this is Keiko from Brooklyn Shoe Space. Today for Shoe Talks, we're inviting Rene Vandenberg. He is joining us from Holland, I think. Yes. So he is on. So we can get him on. Hello.
Hey, hi Keiko, how are you?
How are you?
Oh, great.
Oh,
Yeah,
so nice to see you in person.
yeah, same here. Is it
I've
snowing
seen
at you?
It is. It is.
Oh,
It's white. Yes. How about your spot? How is it over there? How cold is it?
oh, it's not cold.
Oh,
Well, it's about 6, 7 degrees
oh, that's not
Celsius.
bad.
No, that's not
Yeah,
bad. Huh.
that's not bad at all. Yeah, it's actually kind of melting. It's not so much either. Like one inch, so like two and a
Uh-huh.
half centimeters. Yeah. So how have you been? Like this whole lockdown, how has it affected you in any way? Have you been having access to your studio?
Yes, I basically just kept on working.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't affected me personally.
Mm-hmm.
People in Holland, of course, and
Yeah.
well, same as the rest of the world, I guess.
Right.
Um,
And
yeah.
do you see a second wave right now also? Like,
Yes.
is there like a
Yes.
lockdown? Mm,
Well, it's not a lockdown, but
mm,
people are. We're quite a lot of infections, and
yeah,
people are quite careless and
right,
don't understand.
right.
But yeah,
You're
but
doing okay.
yeah, we're doing okay. Keeping
Good.
playing by the rules.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
Uh,
what kind of projects have you been working on? I would love to hear about it. And I guess let's start all the way back to like, how did you start shoemaking? And I read that you're a fourth generation shoemaker.
yes.
And your family used to make shoes,
Hmm.
but a lot of repairs, it sounded like.
Yes.
And I was wondering, like, if you grew up going to the workshop, did you always want to get in the industry? Like, how did you get into it? And then how did that like evolve into what you do now? If you
Ah,
can tell us the story, that'll be great.
yes, of course. Yes, fourth generation. My great grandfather. He started in 1902, and um, as a shoe repair, and
Mm-hmm.
that they had a shoe repair shop and a shoe store, which is selling shoes, and it kept from it went to my grandfather and then to my father and his brother, and they took
Okay.
over the business when my grandfather died, and
Uh-huh.
then I well, they were third generation, and at one point
Right.
my father went on with repair, and
Uh-huh.
my uncle, he went into the selling shoes. So
Uh-huh.
they separated the business.
Separated. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I grew up among shoes because we had my father had a workshop at home, and
Uh-huh.
so there were always shoes around. And I used to, I always wanted to be a shoemaker like my father when I was very young. And then at
Mm-hmm.
one point, growing up, developing some creative skills, I wanted to go
Yeah.
to art school,
Uh-huh.
but
Did you
uh,
go?
no.
Okay.
No, because it was well, 40 years ago. It was very difficult to find well, to make money in art. So
Right.
I guess it still is. But so I just my art teacher, he suggested me to look into the orthopedic world of shoemaking,
Uh-huh.
and somehow I just found it very interesting, and went to like an open day for the
Opened it. Uh-huh.
and was quite interested. And so at 17, I went to school, and
Uh-huh.
the course of well, the education for becoming an orthopedic shoemaker was then 8 years.
What?
Yes,
Wow.
and I
Yes.
completed the whole education in 8 years also.
Wow.
And yeah, and it
So
was
from 17 to 25.
Yes, I graduated when I was 26 because that
Okay.
was just after my 26th birthday. And
Wow.
yes, it's I kind of liked it how it the work and the way of studying, because I went to
Mm-hmm.
school one day per week, and
Yeah.
I went to work 4 days a
Yeah.
week. And so at
So,
school
and the
we
work was
learned.
related,
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
work was related to orthopedic.
Yes, it was in an orthopedic shoe kind of factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yes, so that was 8 years, and after that, I still worked in the orthopedic world for another 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the meantime, I just kept on creating. I just kept on making drawings and
Mm-hmm.
sculptures and stuff like that. But I never
Mm-hmm.
imagined to combine the shoemaking skills with the art skills. So,
Uh-huh.
so at one point when I graduated, I had
Uh-huh.
this. I thought, well, I'm going to give myself a present and make myself a pair of Western boots.
Oh, nice.
And I did it, made them quite complicated, with
Okay.
all
How did
yeah, with all sorts of padding and stuff like that, just to fool around.
uh-huh.
And somehow it got picked up, and and it was well, it was a kind of strange situation, because then well, okay, I'll okay,
Look back.
reset.
Yeah. Wait, was that your first pair of shoes that you made for yourself? Was a Western boot?
Yes, yeah,
Mm.
well, no, not really, but it was quite a complicated pair of shoes, because I did it all with the hand welting and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And then I went to because I made them for my personal graduation, and then I
Uh-huh.
wore them and went to a flower shop
Oh,
to
flower shop.
to
Uh-huh.
yeah, to buy myself some flowers.
Yeah.
Very strange. And in the flower shop there was a woman working there, Nicoline van Enter. I don't know if you know her name.
Yes.
She worked there, and well, we talked about shoes, of course,
Shoes.
and from one thing led to another, and at one point there was this shoe show in Holland that was called Moda Mas, and it was
Modamas. Mm-hmm.
yes, and she and I guess it was Nicoline who told me about that. Well, you should try to participate in the show, because it was all about experimental design and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
cool.
so I went there with my boot designs, and I
Uh-huh.
thought, well, I'm going to be well, I wanted to participate.
Yes.
And then the girls who organized the show, they told me, well, we don't like them. They're too commercial for us. So I
What?
was kind
Okay.
of well, not very happy.
Right.
And then they told me, well, you can join if you can make something really experimental. And I said,
Huh.
and I was kind of pissed off. So I said, and in the evening, I went down with my sketchbook and thought, well, if you wanted experimental, I'll show you experimental.
Yeah.
So I made a few drawings,
Uh-huh.
and went to the actual show. And backstage, I managed to show the drawings that I made to the women who were organizing the show.
Uh-huh.
And they challenged me to okay, if you can really make these kind of designs,
Uh-huh.
then you can participate next time. So
Uh-huh.
and so I did, and I made I actually made them and showed the images to the people organizing the show, and I could
Next,
participate, and it
for the
really opened.
next show, which is was it like
Right.
one year later, or was it half
Yes.
a year later? 1 year
Yes.
later?
Yeah. It was 1 year later. Yeah.
Wow.
And so it opened a creative hatch for me,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and it never closed. The hatch
Yes.
never closed. So I finally I knew that this was it for me
Yeah.
to combine the creative stuff with the shoemaking.
And curious, like, so the Western, let's go back a little bit with the Western shoes. How did you, like, did you learn from books, or back then were there videos out there? Did you just
No.
know instinctively? How did you get
Yes.
like the Western boot last in Europe? Like, how, I just wanted to hear that. And then also, do you have any photos of
Oh
your
yeah, I have them here
boots, the
actually.
Western boots? Oh, you have it here. I would love
Yeah.
to see. Even like the sketches or the
Okay.
first pair that you brought to your show that you participated.
Ah.
Do you have that as well?
Yeah, I don't have the sketches with me. I do have the shoes, of course,
Oh, the
here.
shoes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the shoes.
And
I'd love to see.
yes, but I can well about the lasts and all the stuff that you use for Western boots. I made a last myself because I was a trained orthopedic shoe technician by
Right.
then and had
Right.
eight years of skills, and so it
Yes.
wasn't very hard. And but I'll show you. I'll just
I would love that.
switch cameras, and then
Okay.
I'll just
Thank
go
you.
to well, this is. I'll just show
Wow.
you.
Oh,
I'll just
wow.
get some. I'll just pick up two of them. Just
Okay.
just
So
a moment.
is
It's a bit.
this,
Sorry, it's a bit blurry, but
no, it's okay. If you hold the camera a little bit, hold it for a second. Yeah.
yes, yes,
So
no
left,
problem.
is the left foot and the right foot a little different?
No,
Yeah.
they're actually
Oh,
just two.
two.
And
Okay.
two different designs because
Okay.
at that point I just wanted to see what I could do. So sorry, I didn't make pairs.
Okay.
They're just
Oh,
one-offs.
okay.
Yeah, and it was it just I just found it interesting to see what I could do, where my level of skills were at that moment,
Yeah.
and I
They're beautiful.
wasn't less interested in making pairs,
Yeah.
and basically I'm quite happy that I didn't, because if I would have made pairs, I would have worn them, and then
Yes.
they would not have looked the way they do
This
now.
clean.
Yes,
Right.
so I can, yeah, you can see they all have these
Yeah.
very tiny pieces of
Yeah.
padding and very
Yeah.
small details.
Yes.
And
Contrapunto. Mm-hmm.
yes, and
Beautiful.
at the back part, we have the,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow. The material is kind of like almost looks like a fold, like a yeah.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's a padding.
Padding. It's all padding. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So just wanted to well, these were the kind of boots that I showed to the women who organized
Right.
the show, and they said they were too commercial. and
I,
from this it went to I'll show you that,
the
because the first time
experimental
that
pair.
that I was angry about, um, I made sorry, I made these,
Okay.
and
Oh, this is, uh-huh.
these are shoes that well, you have to guess they're about 30 years old at this point.
Wow. They're in
Uh,
such good shape. You haven't worn it
they've been
they have
worn
been few
sometimes,
times.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for
It's
fashion shows
beautiful.
and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're still in good shape. Yes,
It's beautiful. It's the
yeah,
Beauty and the Beast, you said, series.
yes, that's it. Yeah, and
Wow.
I really enjoyed making those, because
Yeah.
suddenly there were no limits.
Yeah.
I just, well, like I said, that the creative hatch
Yes.
opened and it just didn't close again.
Yes.
And I can show you some more designs of it, of
Yeah.
the
And may
same
I, yeah,
collection.
same series. Yeah. May I ask, did you make the last? And does the last also have that point at the tip, or was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And the heels, you created the heels as well?
Yes, these heels are made of wood,
Wow.
and I just carved them.
Wow, by hand, I
Yeah,
am
or by
assuming.
yeah, and machines, of course.
By
But
machines.
yeah, I'm a bit of a lazy shoemaker.
Do you have a wood workshop in your space? Oh wow,
Yes, this is a. I don't know if I'll show you.
yeah, you can see. If you hold it still for a second. Yeah, wow. This is before 3D printing times. So this is,
Yes, this
yeah, all
handmade
hand
and
carved.
carved and drilled and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Wow,
Yes,
that's amazing.
and I have this one, which is also well, people. It's quite well known.
Yes, it was, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And the heel piece that comes also around, is that part also wood?
Yes, all wood at the
Oh,
heel.
wood.
Yeah, made it look
It's,
like a backbone
yeah,
with the ribs.
yeah. The rib part looks almost like it looks like it's not wood, but it is.
Yes, it's wood. It's
It is
completely
wood.
carved from wood.
Wow. Wow. Uh-huh. Very cool.
So
Uh, yeah, tell us. So after the gate opens, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna make all these sketches. Is that how you work? Do you create sketches first and then kind of
yes,
actualize your design?
yes, that's what I used to do, and
Mm-hmm.
it shifted over the years, and
Mm.
because in the beginning I only made. I'm just reading some of the comments.
Yeah. Yes, you're a hero, Sabatus, this book.
Yeah, funny. Uh, I just I used to make a lot of uh, designs by sketching,
Uh-huh.
and by the time that the sketch was finished, I already knew how to make the shoe, because it
Oh,
was
yeah.
that's something that you learn as an orthopedic shoe technician in Holland. That you have to
Mm.
when you see your client, you have to
Mm-hmm.
already know what kind of shoes you're going to make for them. So basically, in the first hour of meeting your client,
Uh-huh.
you have to recognize what condition their feet are in, and also what solution you're going to make for them. And since
Mm-hmm.
I was trained in doing that, it
Yeah.
wasn't. It's not so hard for me to imagine how to make a pair of shoes. And
Wow.
so first I would make a design, but lately I'm just a kind of like just
Imagining it.
yes, it's only in my head. I don't have to make sketches anymore.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah,
then you just
yeah.
make.
Yes, I just make. Yeah.
And then do you start from making the last for it first and then
Yes, yes.
patterning and then, yeah.
Yeah, and it
Oh,
depends
wow.
on the type of shoe that I'm going to make,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes I just use a wooden last,
That you already
and
have.
that I
Mm-hmm.
already have, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I also make my own last from feet,
Oh,
because
from, mm-hmm.
sometimes the design demands for a foot instead of a last,
Mm-hmm.
because of the sometimes the shape of the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be made with a regular last, because it just wouldn't fit, because some parts might be very hard or
Uh-huh.
solid, and then it
Uh-huh.
has to match the foot exactly
Right.
to be able to be able to worn. And
Is there like an example of that kind of shoe
oh
that,
yes, yes,
yeah, if
yes,
you
yeah.
have one that you can show
Well,
us?
yes, I can. Well,
Yeah.
examples. Well,
Yeah.
there's quite
Wow.
some.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
Yes,
Well,
we
we'll
will
do a
go
tour. We'll do a
through.
tour of your space. Yes.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, we will.
You do you
Yes.
do
Okay.
you
So,
always keep your materials and also like your samples? You always keep half a pair?
um, yes, basically, yes. It's it's just fun for me to experiment and just
Mm-hmm.
see what I can make. And sometimes I make a pair, and sometimes I don't.
Mm.
And well, this is kind of a like a foot that was
Yeah.
casted,
Yeah.
and around it I simply made like a big block,
Yeah.
and I see a question: what material you use for foot casting? I'm making the cast in plaster,
Yeah.
and the material that you see here is a PU hard foam.
Hard foam.
And we simply fill the cast from the foot with the PU hard foam, and then you have an actual foot. And then sometimes it's I have to add some extra space for well, just to make it more comfortable and make it a better fit.
Right.
And then
this black material. What is that material?
That's also a PU hard foam. But it's basically shaped exactly around the last, because when I take it out, it's like I don't know if it will be quite visible, but the inside of the shoe, this is a very solid. It's a solid material, and you can actually put your foot in there, but it has, because it's solid, it has to fit really well.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why sometimes I just use a foot because that works really well.
Wow, that's amazing. So you like to experiment, but who do you call mentors? Is it your 8-year education, the school?
Yes, and funny, I think mentors are the people who challenge me.
Yeah.
Because it was in 1997 when my work got picked up by Cherry Mugler. I don't know if you ever heard of him. No. Well, at that time, very famous Paris fashion designer. And well, he came across my work and he asked me to make some shoes for the fashion show.
Wow.
And he said, well, I need some shoes with a unicorn heel that needs to look like a high polished silver. Can you do that?
Wow.
And I said, yes, of course I can, but I really had no idea how to do it. and I just bluffed my way into it because I really wanted to work with this guy. And
how long did you have to make, and how many pairs, and did you make it?
Oh yeah, I made it, and it was maybe like 6 weeks up front when the order came in, or the commission came in, and then I still had to figure out how to do it because I really had no idea. But so I just made a heel of a prototype heel in wood, and I brought it to an aluminium casting factory in Holland. Wow. And they reproduced the heels for me.
Wow.
And so I had to make like six pairs with those heels. So I ordered 12 heels with from the company.
Yeah.
And I just made 6 pairs of shoes with those heels. And later on, I imagined that I, of course, should have asked for 14 or 16 heels instead of just so I have a spare. But it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hard work. It was a lot of work, and it took a lot of time and effort and stress, of course. A lot of stress.
Of course. Because I'm sure like the casting factory has a lead time of like, they can't make it over you know, like a day. So,
yeah.
Do you still have that sample, or
yes, I guess I'll just walk through the space and see if I can. Hope I don't lose the signal.
Okay. Oh, if it's too much, we can do like even a photo later, or if you don't mind showing us.
No, it's no problem.
It's okay?
Yeah, I found it already.
Okay.
Whoa.
This is your carved wood.
Yeah, well, basically, this is just a cast from the mold.
Okay.
So yes, it's also well, it's made from the prototype,
Yeah,
and it's a reproduction from the prototype.
reproduction. Okay.
Yeah. So I still have to make I still have to make another pair out of these because
Oh,
yeah, just for me, just for fun. But I'm just
yeah.
not. I just somehow don't get around to do stuff like that, and
Right, right.
it's
Busy,
quite
busy, right?
yeah, very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was back in 97.
yeah.
And then how did you fully, or when did you fully transfer from orthopedic work to this work?
Okay. It was very grad. How do you say that? Not at one point. I
Uh-huh.
decided to change, but
Hmm.
it went very
Gradual.
gradual. Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
And because at first, when I was in the orthopedic shoemaking for about 10 years, I decided that I wanted to do more the creative stuff of shoemaking. So I quit my job and I turned self-employed,
Hmm.
and then started to make the more creative shoes that I've just shown,
Hmm.
and basically still making uppers for the orthopedic shoemakers that I used to work for. And it
Okay.
was, and I just made money, and in my spare time, I made really the exceptional shoes.
Right.
And
So,
so I did it for
uh-huh.
about 10 years.
10 years, like you were working as like an independent contractor for
Yes,
the orthopedic.
right. Yeah.
And
And
then you were
then,
making uppers, meaning you were making the last plus the pattern plus uppers, and you're gonna sew them.
yes, the lasts were made by the orthopedic shoemakers,
Okay.
and they would send them to me with a leather, and I would make the patterns and stitch the uppers, and then send it back
Wow.
to them.
I
And
see.
yeah, and in all those years, I calculated that I must have made at least about 10,000 pairs of uppers with
Wow.
with matching patterns. So it's really
Wow.
um,
That's a lot of
that's a lot.
patterns.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's good for
great.
building skills. I
Yes.
can
And
tell you.
those are like one time only. There's no
Yes.
chance to go back and change and like,
No,
or
no.
no, it's
It
just
has to be
one
right.
shot.
Yeah,
It has
one
to be
shot.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. That's so different. And also, I think, so I'm, you know, I think my education or my knowledge for the school that you went to
Hmm.
is limited, but I think you did everything from the upper making to the last making, upper making. Basically, it's a
Yes,
shoemaking school plus
yes,
technical
yes.
about orthopedic materials. So you can use, it's not non-conventional material and just use foam and like other things to
Hmm.
and learn about the feet and everything. It's all
Yes,
inclusive. I see, I
yes. All
see.
inclusive. Yes.
Because here in the States with the now the Orthopedist or license and stuff, it's a little different. It's
Hmm.
just like just the sliver of the knowledge, I think. So I
Yes.
see, I see.
Hmm.
Cool. Wow. So that was 10 years, and then you gradually decided to.
Yes. So when Mugler came around, I thought,
Mhm.
well, this is fun,
Yeah.
and I want to do more. And
Yeah.
so eventually, I did 5 seasons with Mugler,
Wow.
and from that, I just
Mhm.
tried to find more work in making shoes for fashion shows.
Passion. Hmm.
And like, because what you asked me about the mentors, it was basically the fashion designers who challenged
Uh-huh.
me to create the shoes that they've designed
Hmm.
to go along with their outfits, and
Uh-huh.
to make it complete. And
Yes.
so from that, I was because of those challenges, I had to reinvent myself as a
Hmm.
shoemaker, and
Hmm.
had to develop completely new skills and things like that, like the mold making, for instance.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one of the skills that I've learned
Over the
how to
years.
do.
Yeah.
And so basically that's it.
The
Because
theory,
yes, when I
theory
was in
bugler.
school, and because I was in school, of course I had my teachers there, but they were just that was just basic knowledge, and
Right.
and the rest was just like
Challenging people.
yes, and still kind of how would you like self-taught, I guess. Even though I went to school for 8 years, all the rest of the skills were self-taught.
Amazing. Yeah. Do you think you can show us your space a little bit and
Yes,
what
of
kind
course.
of like materials, what kind of tools you have, what kind of equipment you use?
Yes, of course.
And yeah, tell us a little bit about like what's your favorite material, machine.
Okay, I'll just let's walk around
Sure.
like I just came in the morning. So this is my first view when I arrive at the studio.
Uh-huh.
It's I have a very old Singer.
Adler.
No, it's an Adler, and
Adler.
it's a repair machine
Adler, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it's from my father, and
Uh-huh.
he doesn't use it anymore, and now it sits here. I have this old like this Probana downstitch machine, which is just
Uh-huh.
very recently here.
Uh-huh.
It's the youngest member of the family, and probably also the oldest again. I have a skiving machine.
Carver. Yeah.
Yes, and we have the like a post bed
Postbed.
at this point.
Yeah.
A press. This is our
Yep.
orthopedic press. I don't know if you
Yep.
know it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So this used to be my workstation, but I don't use it anymore because it's now in a different location. And I also have like another post bed,
Yep.
and this is an industrial machine, and it's fully automatic, and
Uh-huh.
works really well.
Yeah.
And then we have like a central part where I keep all sorts of
Supplies.
handy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because what we haven't discussed yet is that, but we'll get to that later, and I'll show you how it works. I'll show you the rest of the space.
Yeah.
And
Wow. You have big space. Uh-huh.
yes, it's quite a big space, and I have two of those spaces. What you see here are sample shoes,
Yeah.
and the sample shoes are for my students because I,
Okay.
besides having made so many shoes for the fashion designers,
Yeah.
I always have well for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher also in shoemaking,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to be employed as a teacher.
Yeah.
But like in 2 years ago, in 2018,
Uh-huh.
the school decided to quit with the course of traditional shoemaking,
Oh,
and
that's too
they
bad.
and it just it stopped, and they gave me the choice to either well find other work or well, basically,
Maybe go
yeah,
teach in your own space,
yes.
kind
So
of.
yeah, it gave me the opportunity to ask the managing director if I couldn't take over the course and
Yeah.
give it myself, and
Yeah.
they agreed with that. And what you can see, we now have, because of the whole COVID stuff, we have 4 workspaces,
Uh-huh.
and with all again, everyone has their own post-bed
Workspace.
machine. Yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah.
workspace. It's also separated with a
Yeah.
glass. Well, you can't see it because it's
Oh, yeah.
transparent.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
have
Oh, I see it.
the
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all separated, and everybody has their own place.
Yeah.
And it's basically in the first space that I have that
Uh-huh.
we do this, and this
Uh-huh.
is
It's so organized. It's nice. Yeah. And the hand
Yeah,
tools and
yes,
uh-huh.
then yeah, and this is my spot. This is where I stand and where I kind of
Show.
teach. Yeah, show and what we. I also have a very old Pfaff
Yes.
zigzag machine.
Yes.
I'm really happy with that because it's I never had one,
Yes.
but now I do. And
Great. Yeah.
this is the other space, and it's
Yeah.
like the first space was like the clean space, and the
Yes.
second one is with the glue. I see
Ooh.
one of
Yeah.
my students saying "apple for the teacher."
Ah,
There was an
yeah.
apple on my desk.
Off help. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yep.
we have a down suction part,
Yeah.
which is also yes, it's for gluing and
Yep.
stuff. And we have this. I have this. My students are going to like this.
What does it say?
It says if it doesn't have glue on it, it doesn't stick. That's what it's a yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can
Yeah. Yeah.
imagine we how
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Oh.
So I have three sanding
Sander
machines.
finish.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
great.
like, well, two basic sanders and a finishing
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah. Wow. Uh-huh.
So that's the dirty part and the dusty part.
Yeah.
And to deal with the dust, there's this
Yeah.
big air conditioner or something.
Yeah.
It purifies the air.
Yeah.
I have a McKay stitcher.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
really happy with it.
Do
And
you ever use it
for myself, yes,
for
and
yourself?
it's well, not for the students yet because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
a bit of a dangerous machine with.
Yes. When so do you, other than what you make for art and what you post, do you make your own shoes
My
for
yes,
yourself?
of
Is
course,
that,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay. I
and
was gonna ask because you make a lot of, women's sculptural,
yeah,
heels,
hmm
but ooh,
yeah.
ooh, what's this one?
It's another Frobana downstitch machine,
Uh-huh.
and I
Wow.
have and don't want to brag, but I have a third. I have
Whoa.
I have three of those, and I really love
Wow.
them.
Yeah. Wait, what do you use this for?
It's for
When you
down
down
stitching. It's
stitch, down stitch,
oh,
like,
I'll show you. I'll show you.
oh, like stitch down. No, that's
A
not it.
stitch down. Yes, that's it.
Okay. Okay.
And
Wow.
it's like these kind of shoes.
Yes. Stitch down shoes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, wow. So you can get right into that corner.
yes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And these are the handmade shoes. I
Uh-huh.
have a brand. It's called Makerzoon.
Micro zone?
No, Makerzoon, and that's a Dutch
Macro.
word. It's a Dutch word, and it stands. It's translated as the son of a maker, maker's
Oh.
son.
Oh, maker son. So maker son. I have to look
Yes,
this up.
yes.
Son
I
of
also have an Instagram,
Okay, I didn't know. Oh, cool.
and it's
Yeah, it's totally a different look.
yes, and those are the kind of shoes that I wear myself,
Uh-huh.
and it's also what I'm wearing now.
Oh, yeah,
there's a
I see.
bag that my wife made for me.
Oh, wow. You
These are the
both
kind of
makers.
shoes that I'm
Yeah.
wearing.
Uh-huh. Oh, I love that one. That's the one from your pattern, fishbone pattern.
Yes,
You
yes.
made a leather shoe like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I just had a lot of fun with that one because when I first I'll just flip the camera so you don't have to look at the floor. It's a funny story because the first time that I ever made any patterns,
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to make the fishbone pattern. And at school, I already said to myself, "Oh, wow, this is a really nice pattern," and nobody did anything with it. And it was in my mind to do something with that, but
Uh-huh.
it just never happened. And last year, I was asked to to teach a masterclass in at Hiko Mizuno in Japan,
Yeah.
and then of course I had to make a new pair of shoes for myself, and then the whole fishbone thing just came.
Back.
Came up. Yeah, came back, and so I made a pair of those for myself.
Oh,
Which is
funny. Yeah, no,
finally.
it's so beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Very cool. Is that the method that you use always for your patterning, the fishbone method?
No, I use the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works. It kind
Yeah.
of works better. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. But it's beautiful. And then it's also, I felt like it was just like so time consuming, the
Yes.
fishbone.
Yeah.
And at the end, I was so frustrated, even though it was beautiful. So,
Hmm.
but oh, cool. Is that tour, how big is your space combined with the school and your
Yeah.
back room?
It's 160 square meters.
160 square meters.
Oh,
Wow.
sorry, 160.
160. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What's your favorite tool and the machine in there so far?
Ah, okay. Well, of course, with the when it comes to the hand tools, I'm very proud that I have this one.
Yeah.
It's it's an EA Berg 502. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if you know these. I really love them. They work really well.
Mm.
Yeah, of course my shoemaker's knife and
Yeah.
the awl,
Oh.
which is
Mhm.
used to be from my father,
Uh-huh.
and it's a very old one, but still works
Yeah.
works perfectly.
Amazing.
And basically all the tools that I have already for 40 years. And it's
Right.
just they just don't age somehow.
Yeah.
I brought a
Some
few,
Japanese knife,
yes,
I see.
from Tokyo. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really liked it.
Yeah. I saw that you visited, was it last year or
Yes, it
this
was last
earlier in
year.
the year? Yeah.
Yeah, it was just before the breakout of the COVID stuff.
Hmm.
When I came back, everything closed.
Right.
2 weeks after that, I came back. So it was
Wow.
a close call.
Yeah.
Yes, and I
Wow.
have
The hammer.
the hammer. And
Wow.
my handle is from Stingray.
Yes, yes.
So I have a really a good firm grip
On it. Yeah.
with the Stingray.
Uh-huh.
And something that I'm really proud of that I already have for as soon as I started my own business, I have
Ooh.
this box with all the a lot of very different, very
Hole
small,
punches.
yes, hole punches. Yes.
Wow. So organized. I love that.
Yeah.
You- Oh, hole punches. That was from like when you were in school or
No, it was a gift from my from the last orthopedic shoemaker that I worked for,
really? That's
just before I
nice.
turned self-employed. Yes.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
Hmm.
that's so great.
And it's
And
still here. And
yeah, and you still use it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
cool.
and my machine, basically the machine that I really like a lot are the stitch down machines.
Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
because it's so old and they are hand operated,
And it
and
works.
and it works and it just keeps on working and it doesn't break or anything, and it saves me a lot of time.
Yes, yes, I bet. Oh, that's so great. Um, I didn't see any mold making area. Is there
Ah, okay.
like another
Uh,
area, or is it like a
no,
different space?
no, the mold making I just basically do it on my own desk,
Hmm.
and I can show you um, um, some molds because
Mm, wow.
this is some stuff that I do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
usually make heels and
Hmm.
basically from the PU hard foam,
Okay.
and then make a shape that I really like, and then
Hmm.
polish it, spray it and sand it and polish it
Mm.
until it's really clean,
Yeah.
And then I just make like a silicone mold from
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And the
Wow.
mold,
Okay.
the mold, of course, can be filled with a resin
Yeah.
or a hard foam, just
Yeah.
to and they will be reproduced that
Mm-hmm.
way. And it's really easy when you have a block heel like this, because it's quite solid. But as
Yeah.
soon as if you want to make a heel which is even more thin,
Yeah.
like this one,
Yeah.
what I usually do is to reinforce it
Yeah.
with a carbon fiber.
Okay.
That's the black material that you see inside,
Yeah.
and it's poured within the mold. So
Oh,
I
sorry.
first put in the the carbon
Uh-huh.
fiber, and then I put in the resin, and so it's
Uh-huh.
the carbon fiber is completely covered by the resin and
Yeah.
makes it really strong.
Yeah. That's cool. It's better than
And
like a dowel. I feel like there's like dowels that go in, like the metal little poles.
yes, oh,
Yeah,
but
it's stronger.
even that is
Oh,
still
it's
in
in
here.
there. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So it had to be really strong, because this one was for a dancer who really
Right.
abused the shoes,
Yeah.
and it
You
and it
can't
need
break it. You yeah.
right. Right, yes.
That's very
And
cool.
yes, and this is the mold for it. And
Uh-huh.
I can open it. It's a bit difficult with one hand,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it's like
wow.
it
Okay.
looks like this.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a two-piece mold,
Uh-huh.
and the heel stands on it uh, like
Uh-huh.
this.
Yeah.
So I first make a part, which is the green stuff that you see here is the
Yeah.
first part,
Yeah.
and then the second part that you see in the back
Yeah.
is poured over the heel and the first part,
Uh-huh.
and then then I flip it and take
Yeah.
out the. Um,
Up.
this is kind of a beeswax stuff,
Okay.
and then I take it out, and then the
Uh-huh.
heel, of course, is still
It's laying in
it's
there.
yeah, it's
Yep.
laying in there,
Uh-huh. Like that.
and
Yeah.
then I just fill this gap with another layer of silicone, and then that becomes this.
Oh, okay.
So I have a two-piece mold,
Two-piece
and
mold.
then when you
Wow.
take out the heel, the original heel, you can
Yeah.
take out of the mold, of course, and
Yeah.
then place the lid back in there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you fill the space with the carbon fiber first, and
Yeah.
also with the metal tube,
Yeah.
then you simply have to fill the mold with the resin, and
Right.
yeah, that's it.
That's it. Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, and the funny thing is that you can make really thin
Thin.
heels with
Wow.
this. And
Uh-huh.
this one doesn't have a metal tube inside.
Right.
It's just
Carbon fiber.
resin and carbon fiber. Maybe if
Uh-huh.
I zoom in,
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if
if it's for like fashion, like walking regularly,
yes,
you think
yes,
that's enough? Mm.
yes. You cannot break this.
Wow.
I've given this to students and
Yeah.
asked them, well, test how
Best to
strong
wear
it
it.
is, and they
Yeah.
couldn't break it.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
really, really strong.
Amazing.
Yes. So the little things that I do with the heels, I can also do
Do it.
with
Uh-huh.
platforms.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When you
Wow.
have a platform like this,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
the
Oh.
principle is still the same. That you
Yeah.
first make a basic, like it's kind of a pedestal
Yeah.
that is made from like a beeswax
Yeah.
stuff or a clay,
Mm-hmm.
and it basically fits
Yeah.
the platform
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah.
And then of course we have a like a wall that was
Yeah.
built, and
Yeah.
then the first part of silicone is poured
It's
in.
created. Yeah.
Yes, and
But
then
mhm,
yeah,
the nubs are there to so that it doesn't shift when you're doing the.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
I see.
So
It's
yeah,
great.
so the lid
Yeah.
doesn't is
Doesn't
not able
move.
to move. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
move.
Yeah. I see. I see.
Yes,
Oh,
and
it's so brilliant.
And it can get really complicated if you
Yeah.
want, because
Yeah.
there's also this mold
Whoa.
for a
Wow.
heel.
Did you carve the first not
Yes,
prototype?
yes.
Yeah.
This was the original heel was made
Yeah.
from wood.
Uh-huh. Wow, you really have great wood skills.
Oh yes. Wow. Well.
And where do you do the woodwork?
Just I just do it.
Like by hand in your at your
Yes,
desk?
yes.
Okay.
And
Nowhere
yeah.
special. Uh-huh.
No. I just use a sanding machine or
Uh-huh.
a Dremel or something.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's all.
Wow. Wow. And this is all well, one piece wood that you carved down, or
Yes.
is it
No,
glued
no.
anywhere?
No. Yeah, I glued it. I
Okay.
kind of cheated because I first made the real heel, and
Uh-huh.
then I made the separate spikes,
Okay.
made them all separate, and glued them to the original heel.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And oh,
That's beautiful.
I saw a comment come by from my daughter saying
Oh,
nice
nice
mold.
mold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
Moriander.
made it.
Oh, she made it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I
That's
told her
great.
how to do it, and she just she was like um, she's a natural talent. She
Wow.
just completely understood what the process was, and
Uh-huh.
this was actually her first mold. So
Wow, that's
that's a very
amazing.
very impressive.
Impressive. And the
Yes.
green, you said it's like beeswax material.
No, well, the
Or
beeswax material is actually yellow in color,
yellow, yeah.
and
What makes it green?
the the okay, this first part is not actually she said credit. Um, hey Marco. This first part is actually it's green, but it's green because I'll show you with this one. You have to imagine that this part of the mold
Yeah,
used to be made out of beeswax,
yeah, right. So it was
and
yellow.
the original platform is placed on top of the beeswax,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we build a wall around it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we fill the void, which
With
is
silicone.
with
Mm-hmm.
silicone, and the
Yeah,
silicone is this part.
right.
And then when this part is set, when the
Mm-hmm.
silicone is hard, then
Mm-hmm.
we peel out the beeswax,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the platform is still inside the mold.
Yeah,
And then we pour in, because then you can see this empty space
yeah.
and
The mold.
the original.
Yeah.
And hey Naomi, there's a lot of friends.
Yes.
Okay, and so the second part is actually this. So
Okay.
it used to be the beeswax,
Yeah.
but but
You
this part, of
poured
course,
it.
was, yeah, I poured it in because it's, of course, was
Yeah.
um, used to be liquid, but it's
Yeah.
now a solid,
Yeah.
and that's a really yeah, it fits perfectly.
Perfectly. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
amazing.
that's what the keys are for.
Yeah. I see.
So
I see. Okay. That's so amazing. So this is a collaboration with your daughter. How do you like get inspired, and what's your favorite collaboration so far?
like with other designers, you mean?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah, there's quite a list, I must say. um, well, there are, and
Yes. You just
okay,
pause for a second.
okay. I used to work with Jan Terminio for quite a while,
Uh-huh.
and did 10 seasons with Ilja Visser. She's also a Dutch designer.
Uh-huh.
Uh, done some work with Walter van Beirendonk. I don't know if you ever
Uh-huh.
heard of him. He's a Belgian designer.
Uh-huh.
and I made clogs for him. And
Uh-huh.
I just saw a post going by if I could show the clogs or
Yeah,
the
I saw
molds for
that.
the clogs. I'm not going to
Vlogs,
show
yeah.
it. It's too complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, and but it's fun. I can show you.
Yeah,
These are the clogs that I made for him.
yeah.
I just put them on the table, and it's just like they're based on traditional wooden
Yeah,
clogs from
yeah,
Holland.
yeah.
And basically these were I also made a mold for this one.
Okay,
And
so the whole piece is a molded
yeah,
piece,
well,
or
this is the cost, of course,
yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
and the mold is of course a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn new skills
Yeah,
to create this.
yeah. Wait, so this it's one piece, right?
Yes, it's poured in one
That's
piece. Yes.
wow, wow, wow. How did you do that? Like thin to make it so thin? That's
Yes. Well, I could tell you, but we would really need an extra hour or so.
yeah, it's okay. I
Yeah.
get it. But let's ask, like, how many times did you have to try to get it right?
Just one. It
Really?
has, yes. I only had 2 weeks
Uh-huh.
to do the job,
Uh-huh.
and I had to make 8 pairs.
Uh-huh.
And the first week was completely wasted on making the prototype and the molds.
Mm-hmm.
And the second week was wasted on creating the shoes, which was
But
quite a challenge, I can tell
yeah.
you. And I had some help from some fellow shoemakers,
Yeah.
and that was really it was a good thing that I had some help.
Yes. Oh,
Uh,
that's so great.
uh,
Um, yeah, so you have the long list of collaborators. Do the designers usually come to you, or do you
yes,
find
yeah.
somebody? Okay. Yeah. And can I ask like what the price range would be to like come and ask you to make something like that clog or something with like the amazing heels?
Well, basically, the whole thing. If I would only have to make one pair,
One proto?
yeah, one prototype is about like 2,500 euros.
€2,500.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in dollars,
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
somewhere near that, and
Yeah.
it's basically because of all the work that goes into it,
Yeah.
and the mold making and the pattern
Yeah.
making and
Yeah.
the original heel
Yeah.
and platform making.
Yes. And
Um,
that's for half a pair, one half pair.
no, it's one pair
One
because
one full pair.
yes, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And I think so you were saying that you do it once and that's it. Like, is there ever a time when the designer comes back saying, I want to change this and that? Or is this like
Yes,
just,
yes,
oh, yes, there is. Okay.
yeah,
Do you
and
accept those things or do you kind of try
yeah,
to not?
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Mhm.
Yeah, but basically for the fashion shows, it's one design, which
Mhm.
is and maybe made in a 12 to 15 pairs for a
Mhm.
fashion show,
Yeah.
and so it's just one run. It's like 2 months of work to
Two
do
months of work.
15
Yeah.
to do 12 pairs.
Yeah. Wow, 2 months, 12 pairs. I was just gonna ask what timeline do you give your clients? So if it's a fashion client, if it's for a fashion show, at least they give you 2 months in advance
Yes,
notice. That's good.
yes,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, sometimes they could come be like, I need it in a week.
Oh yeah,
Um,
they do,
yeah,
and then I tell no.
yeah, and you turn them down. I
Yeah.
see. But for say if it's a private client or a collaboration, what kind of timeline do you give yourself? If
Um, well, maybe a month or two.
yeah. Do they also ask for different sizes? Somebody else,
So,
Mr. Manifold
yes,
asks
yes,
at shows.
sometimes, but I usually do not because it's
Yeah,
if you have to make like the molds for the
molds.
platforms and stuff,
Yeah.
It's impossible to do it in 3 sizes because it
Yeah.
would be way too expensive.
Yes, I agree. Wow. And then do you have clients and collaborators who also made it into production after you did the prototype in the first batch?
Not that I know of.
Not okay.
No, no.
Yeah.
It's
And
only just for fashion shows.
for fashion shows, for sure. What's your favorite part of shoemaking and shoe designing? The process of it
The
all.
entire process.
Entire process.
Yes, I love every single piece of it. Even folding the boxes, I enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. And I think, yeah, I mean, you learn from like everything. So I think that's great. Hand welting too. Did you learn hand welting in the
Yes.
school?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think it's just this footwear education, like in Europe, just seems to be more full, full
Yes.
circle,
Yes.
full cycle.
And
Yeah.
and it's also what I try to teach my students. And so basically, at this point, I have 31 students who want to learn how to make shoes. And that's great because there's still a lot of interest in people who want to learn this trade.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with that.
Yeah. 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 And so you do everything from tradition all the way to the fun, not just fun.
Yeah, well, basically
eccentric.
tradition. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And so in the first year, it's a 3-year course. And the first year, it's all about learning skills, and the second year, it's developing skills and making new designs. And the third year is more going in depth.
Experimental.
Right. Yes, and also making heels and stuff like those.
And last making too, you think?
Yes,
Or
also, yeah. In the first year, we also already start with last.
Wow, wow. Oh, that's so thorough. That's so nice. So I think, have you ever worn your experimental creations? Have you ever made your own size?
Well, except for the boots and the clogs for Walter, yes. But for the rest, I basically only make women's shoes in small sizes, so I just don't fit them.
Don't fit them.
No.
Has there ever been experimental men's shoes that you've made with somebody other than the clogs, I guess?
I did some drag stuff.
Drag stuff.
Yes, yeah, and but just not that much.
Right. Do you have a motto or mantra that you live by?
Well, maybe it's. I guess it is what it is. It's what I tell my students because sometimes things go wrong, and I always tell them that well, it is what it is. You can't change it, or you have to start over. And what I also tell them a lot is that they should embrace their mistakes.
Yeah.
Because if something goes wrong, it's an opportunity to correct it, and the correction is probably a better solution than what you might have come up the first time.
Yeah. Oh, your daughter. I think it was your daughter, V. Loriander, but I
yes,
do.
it's my daughter. Yes.
Does she wear
she has a motto. What's your motto, Floor? I'll ask her.
I think she meant that she wears your sample size. Is that possible? No.
Maybe.
Has she put in her foot in there before?
Yes. That's her foot. The one that I showed.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. If you had all the resources available to you and no worries in the world, no like responsibilities, no clients work to do or anything, what kind of shoes would you make and for who?
Art.
Next.
For myself.
Art for yourself?
Yes.
Nothing with shoes or art shoes?
Yeah, art shoes. It's kind of like stuff like this. Well, you've seen this one.
Yeah.
It's wearable, but still, an art piece.
Yeah.
I've done stuff like this
Wow. Yeah.
in bronze,
Uh-huh.
and I've made like this kind of sculpture, like shoe. Oh.
Whoa. Is it really heavy?
No, no, no. It's not. It's not heavy, and it's called Lateral Thinking,
Yes.
and it has like the shoe part opens,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so
Wow.
then you can basically put your foot in
Put
there,
it in and close
but
it. You
it
can't
cannot be
really.
worn. No.
Right. Right.
But I really like the shaping of these
Yes, I do too.
stuff.
It's beautiful. What's the black material?
It's
Is it
also the PU hard foam.
PU foam? It's that. It
Yes,
seems like that's like your material that you really like to use.
yes, I do. And the good thing about the material is that it first is a liquid,
Okay.
and then when you pour it into a mold and it sets, it becomes
Uh-huh.
hard. So
Ah,
it takes on any shape that you want.
that is amazing.
Yes, and it has a very solid structure, and it can be sanded and polished really well. And then you can basically make anything out of it. It's
Right.
just a block of material with one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Somebody asks, did you ever consider working under contract for a fashion house or brand? There must have been many offers.
I haven't had any offers. No, and I wouldn't
Okay.
want to. I
You would
don't
you
want
wouldn't
to.
want to.
No, no,
No.
no, no.
Yeah, your
I,
creativity is, yeah, you want to keep it like free.
yeah, yes.
And then
Just
yeah,
I always want to be a free spirit and just do whatever I feel like.
yeah, that's so great.
Yeah,
Do-
and also like the big piece which is in the background.
I see that.
It's
Yeah.
a collaboration with Karin Jansen.
Yeah.
We did some stuff like this very experimental shoe kind of sculptures
I love
with
it. That it's like a
very
cavity. But then
yes
what
and
is the
very
material, yeah, that's coming out? I couldn't see in the photos. Is it
it
leather?
yes it's leather,
Wow.
and
Okay.
it's wrinkled, and it has some um, like like some like this hairy stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
if you can
Is it
see.
yeah, it's feather or
Yes,
hair?
it's feather-like. It's actually a rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and
Rabbit fur.
yes, and we have this we
Oh,
made
I
this
love that
piece,
one. Yes. Wow.
and it
And
has
is this part the curved part leather?
no, it's wood
Oh, it's
actually.
wood.
Yes, and I try to experiment with because normally if you make a platform,
Yeah.
then the platform is on the front and the heel is on the back,
Yeah.
and I just want to change sides and put the
Yeah.
platform on the side and also the heel on the side. So it's a
Wow.
hollow piece,
Yeah.
and this part just basically goes up and goes in this direction, going
Yeah.
down again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. And in that case, collaboration, when you say collaboration, it's like, do you sketch together? Do you talk about it first? Or,
Yes, yes, and we made the sketches together,
mhm.
and basically decided what the sculpture should look like, and made them together. And
Mm,
I was usually the one who's doing the basic construction work,
yeah.
and Karin was the one responsible for the very intricate stuff like this. And
Uh-huh. And
yeah, so it was a really, it was actually a real collaboration,
yeah,
making the pieces by ourselves.
yeah. And is she also a shoemaker as well? Or
Yes,
is
but
she?
she also has she's a graphic designer
Okay.
or product designer, and she's very skillful woman.
Uh-huh.
She also did the website for my academy,
Uh-huh. Can
and
I ask you what the academy is called? Just so
yes,
I.
It's very simple. It's Rene Vandenberg Academy.
Oh,
And
okay.
yes.
Perfect. And it's a
And
3-year program. Okay.
it's a 3-year program.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's so great. And then
Yeah.
every day, or is it every other day?
We have 31 students, and
Yeah,
the classes are 4 students big,
yeah.
and they have 1 week in the studio, and the next week they study at home.
Uh-huh.
And to be able to study at home, I have written. I'll show you. Because these are the sample pieces that we make,
Mm-hmm.
and every design has a book
Oh,
for the
wow.
derby,
Uh-huh.
and
And
it has
instruction.
yes, and it's a complete book with
Wow.
instruction how
Patterns to,
the patterns and
whoa.
every
Wow.
every step by step
Yeah.
shoemaking
Wow. That's
and
so
pattern.
valuable. Yeah. And then they
So,
have to make a pair at home in a week and bring it back like homework, or
no, no, no.
no?
It takes at least 8 weeks to make a pair,
Uh-huh.
and for the first year students, it takes a little bit longer to create the first pair because
Uh,
everything is new
yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
and they just because they have to learn all the skills
Yeah.
and they have to know have to learn everything at first. And
Yeah.
when they have made their first pair, they know.
Yeah.
And then the second pair, and then the third pair will go even more faster.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, in 1 year, they will be able to make 4 pairs,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then yeah, that's how it works. It
I
works
see.
for the second year students at this point. Works really well
Uh-huh.
because they're already quite skilled in making patterns and cutting the leather and doing stuff at home.
Uh-huh.
And the first year students, they still have to get into it.
Yes. Yes. But it's one of those things that's like once you have this like tangible shoe in your hand, and so if you can wear them especially too, like it's very addicting, I think.
Yes, it's very.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I never get bored in making shoes because it's so complex.
Yeah.
And I always tell my students that the shoe is a puzzle,
Hmm.
and you are the one who is able to determine the shape of the
Yeah.
pieces of the puzzle, and they can have any shape that you want.
Yeah.
So every shoe can be a different shoe, and
Yeah.
every person can design new shoes and invent new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have any limits.
Yeah. That's amazing. I know that you have students, but do you also, your daughter, is she kind of following your footsteps? Is she a
Yes,
part of the school?
he's currently in a study program becoming a fifth generation.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hmm.
That's exciting.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
where,
oldest. The youngest is probably going to art school, who's
uh-huh.
already a real artist. And yes,
That's
well, we
wonderful.
have a creative family.
That's wonderful. And then where do you want to be? Where do you want to take it in 3 to 5 to 10 years?
Ah, I I just want to keep on doing the academy stuff
Hmm.
because it shifted. Like I said in the beginning, just
Hmm.
did 10 years orthopedic, and then
Hmm.
10 years of upper making, and then 10 years of fashion, and
Hmm.
now I did about 10 years of teaching,
Hmm.
and the next 10 years will also be about teaching and
Hmm.
develop the academy and write even more instruction books.
Yes.
And well, we'll see what comes next. But
Yeah.
the focus will probably be writing more books
Books.
on the knowledge that I've gained in the past 40 years.
Yes. Yes. Do you feel like the experimental art world has changed since you started? Do you get more requests? Do you have like, are the students more interested in that kind of, are they interested in that and did they approach you, or is it a combination of like the students when they come, they like the traditional shoemaking as well as experimental? Like, what's the
Yes.
kind of like a makeup of the people that surround you?
Um, I don't know. The students, well, basically, you first have to learn how to make traditional shoes
Yeah,
before you can do the experimental stuff.
yeah, and they get it. They understand that, which is cool. Good.
Yes, but it's difficult for them because a lot of they already have very creative ideas, but no
Yeah,
skills.
right.
So that's a difficult situation.
Yes.
They want more than they can make.
Yes.
And but still, because the groups are so small, I grant them their creativity, and because the designs that we have here, the traditional shoes are just the traditional shoes, but
Right.
they are allowed to experiment and change the designs the way
Okay.
they want.
Right. Right. In that way, they get a little bit of their creativity out.
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. Somebody asks, what are the fees at your academy for the 3-year education?
It's a little less than 3,000 euros per year.
Wow.
So for the entire course would be about 9,000 euros for 3 years.
Wow. That's great. Do you?
Do you mean is that a lot or is that
No,
not
I
much?
mean, as a student, that's like affordable. But like, how do you work with Dutch students like only, or is there international students?
No, it's Dutch student only.
Okay. And
Oh, and
wow.
cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
think, is it a part of like the school system? So you actually get like diploma, like, or is it really like, I
no,
think.
it's you get a certificate.
Hmm.
And it's not an actual education, which is acknowledged by the government.
Right.
But it wasn't when it was part of the official school in. It was just a course of
Right.
shoemaking. Yeah.
Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh my goodness. And do you always teach in Dutch or is English?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
All right. Wow.
But
If
it
you
can be in English. But I don't have any English or American students.
if I feel like if you ever open it up internationally, there's gonna be so many people who come. But then 3 years is a lot. I guess
Yes.
it's a commitment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, all right. And does your do you think in 10 years your daughter's gonna be, or even sooner, your daughter's gonna be, does she maybe have a line of her own as well?
I
Or
hope so. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's very distinctive in her in her being, and she's a very unique person. So I guess she will find her way in this profession.
Oh, that's so great. And the, what was it? The son of the maker, maker soon,
Maker's son. Yeah,
maker son. Is that also like, how old is that line of shoe?
it's about 6 years old, six, 7
6 years
years
old.
old now. Yes.
And do you have time to sell them, or is it more made to order?
They're made to order only.
Made to order.
Yeah, the philosophy behind it is that I don't want to make any stock. And it's only when there's a demand for a pair of shoes I will
Yeah.
make them because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
I really don't like the whole idea that stores are filled with shoes that
Shoes that
nobody's going to
maybe,
buy.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
I
the
really
horror.
wonder, I really wonder where all those shoes go, you know, because it's
Yeah,
fashion. Sometimes they do have to like rotate it. Yeah.
yes, yeah, it's a
Making
horrible thought.
garbage. It's a
Yeah,
very
making
horrible
garbage.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's horrible
yeah,
thought. Yeah.
yeah. I've
Oh,
never done that. I never wanted to be associated with that because I come from the orthopedic world where every shoe is made for people who just cannot walk without their shoes. And it always has been a really big part of my personality, just to make shoes on demand.
On demand, yep.
Yeah.
And when, in that case, do you also measure their feet? And if they have issues with their feet, you can make orthotics for them.
Yes.
Wow, it's all in one. That's amazing. Well, but one last thing. I know you have so many shoes lined up a little bit. Can you do like a little slow-mo?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
Show and tell? Shoe and tell?
Okay. So this is a platform I did for Brandon Wen. He was an Antwerp fashion student. And it was a really challenging thing because it's just a one piece. It goes for the left foot and the right foot. And so I didn't have to make two molds.
Right.
This is stuff that I did for Ilja Visser. She was a Dutch fashion designer. And I made heels
beautiful.
like this.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
Very difficult mold making.
Yes.
But still, it worked.
Yeah.
Also did this for her. Basically, this whole cabinet is made for her. These are shoes I made for a Dutch princess.
Oh wow! Oh, that's great.
Like this is like the platform shoes with the holes in it.
Yeah, yeah. Is the upper is leather?
Yeah, the upper is leather.
Upper is leather. Okay.
Yeah, basically that's the material that I like to work with the most.
Leather.
Yeah. And this is also like very intricate details with piping and stitching and really different type of back part of the shoes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. I did this for fun.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh. It's almost like the whatchamacallit, Lady Gaga, like the balanced one, but like Amara's asking from Hark Weber Studio, does your training as an orthopedist impact your design of the internal shape of high heels?
Oh yes, because I really know where the balance point is, and that's of course really important, and it also taught me how to make something that we call a lining shoe.
Yes.
And it's something like this. It's sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's a shoe which is still not completely covered.
Yes.
But it just has a lining, and I made a heel attached to it, and I made a platform attached to it, and then it needs to be covered with the upper leather. So it's a very different way of making shoes.
Yeah.
Where you normally would make an upper and stretch it on the last.
Yeah.
And this works really differently from that.
Wow.
Yes.
But it's great. I mean, you can see if it works or not.
Yes.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You call it the lining shoe.
Yes. Because first you make a lining.
Yeah.
And then you build the platform.
Yeah.
And then everything is covered with leather.
Yeah.
And these shoes are are made in the same way.
Oh, okay. So almost like checking if the pattern works, or checking, like with apparel, people do muslin, or so basically you do like one proto before a proto, and that's your lining shoe.
Yes, kind of. Yes.
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's asking, did you have any hand in Peter Pop's creations?
Oh, I know Peter very well, and but no.
No. Okay.
I wish.
Yeah. Got it. Wow. Oh, wow. That's what. Oh, that one's the
Oh,
the
that's the other, yeah.
sculptural one. Yep.
Yes.
The lateral
Lateral
thinking.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and oh, there's so much more. I don't know.
Oh,
Do we
this
have
one.
any time or?
I know. Sorry, I'm taking so much time. Sorry, it's like going over, but Instagram
No.
used to cut me off, and now it doesn't. So I'm like letting
Mm-hmm.
it go. Wow. Look. Oh yeah, yeah. It's the series, and it was. I feel like this was one of the first or earlier pairs that I saw on the shoe calendar.
Yes, that could very well be. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a carbon fiber
Uh-huh.
construction,
Yep. Yep.
and I really like to work with the material, not because it's not a friendly material,
Yeah.
but health wise, but you can do amazing stuff with this.
Yeah.
And the whole idea basically was when you step out of a bath
Yep.
and you look at your footprint, it only
Yep.
has the heel part
Yep.
and this part covering.
Yep. Yep.
Well, this part doesn't even touch the ground. So
Yeah.
why make a shoe there?
Mm.
And so I just folded the part which is there into a heel.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's where
So cool.
inspiration comes from.
Yes. Oh,
Things
yes.
like this.
Yes. And there's other designers that got inspired by it, I think, and put some things into production.
Oh yes, of course,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I
Wow.
also like to fool around with patterns because
Mm-hmm.
this is it looks like a very simple boot,
Yeah. Yeah.
but when you basically look at this
Is it
and
no
you
seam? No. What is it?
yes, I'll show you. I'll put it into the light, then you can maybe see it a little bit better. It's a one piece of leather. So I'll
Wow.
just follow the lines,
Yeah.
and you can see that it goes like this.
Yeah.
Just one moment. Goes to the
Wow.
out,
Yeah.
to the outside,
Yeah.
and
And then
then
it
it
comes all the way
covers
around.
the heel,
Yeah.
and then it goes. You have the second layer on top,
Uh-huh. Oh, it's
and then
almost
it
like
like a
peel, apple peel, skin
right.
peel. Like so it's
Yes.
wow.
So it's just one piece of leather,
Uh-huh.
and I really like to
Wow.
play around with making patterns and stuff.
Like that. Wow. How much leather did it take? That looks pretty
Yeah, it's quite complicated
big.
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's when I'm basically like what you said. If I limited amount of time and money, I would make more stuff like that.
Yes, yes. Oh, how do you divide your time with your creativity and then your teaching? Like, do you have a certain amount of time dedicated for yourself?
At the moment, not because I'm only developing the course and writing the books, which is quite a task. I have to
Yes.
this year I have to write 8 books, and I'm quite far with number 5, and they're all like maybe 160, 190 pages
Wow.
thick, so it's quite a job.
Yeah.
But it's really fun doing,
Yeah.
and I do have some free time, and well, but basically this year is really about developing the course
Yeah.
and just working on shoes and
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask if the books will be published to other people or is it only for your students?
Yes, no, basically this is just it's a setup for the students, so they have a handout that they can work from at home.
Yeah.
But they will be translated in English, and I will publish them. Yes.
That would be amazing. Can't wait. That's great. Oh, looking forward to that.
Yes, hopefully next year. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's the goal that I have.
Yeah, wow.
Uh,
I think you can do it. That's, yeah. So in a way, this downtime, even though you shouldn't say downtime, the
mhm.
pandemic slowed everything
Yes.
else around, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
seem to be just busy, just working on making
Yes.
books
Yeah.
and
It probably just gave me a boost
yeah,
to do it like this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Because
Is
there's
there,
nowhere else to go.
you're right. I was gonna ask, where's the next, like, if you're once you're done with the books, what's the next destination that you would wish to go to make shoes, or like to meet people who make shoes? Is there like
Um,
a list of artists that you wish to meet? Not artists, or shoemakers that you want to meet?
yes, I would like to travel
Travel.
and meet other shoemakers,
Mm-hmm.
especially come to the US, and because I know Jeff Mandel, I saw he's also watching. He's helping me do the translation of the books, by the way.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah. And he has come to Holland a few times and
Uh-huh.
visited me,
Uh-huh.
and gave me a very nice present and stuff. And I really would love to visit his workshop,
Uh-huh.
and I would love to go to other shoemakers out there. Jeff Churchill still on my
Yeah.
on my list, and Chris Donovan and Aki
Yeah.
Chocolate, and well, Lisa Sorrell,
Every,
you know,
yeah.
everybody.
You'll make a
But
US
it's,
tour.
yeah, probably yes, we'll have to.
Or maybe everybody comes visit you if you do like
Oh well,
a
Chris has already been here,
bin.
and
Yes, I saw
yeah,
that. I saw
yeah,
that. Yeah.
and Jeff Mandel also. So it's
Uh-huh.
and well, and Jeff Churchill also. He
As
also
well.
visited me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so wonderful. It's
yes, and it's yeah, meeting shoe people is something really nice because we
mhm.
know there's a lot of respect between the different types of between the shoemakers amongst themselves because
Mhm.
they know how much effort it takes to create the skills or
Yeah.
to develop the skills.
Yeah.
Um, I really like that
Yeah.
that we respect each other for
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. That's nice. Um, and then also government help. Like, do you feel like it's different in Europe where you are? Do you feel supported by the, say, the culture
You mean in shoemaking?
in shoemaking in general? Like, is that
Mm,
like, you know how, like, say, just this is like an overall general feeling, but let's say in Japan, they
mm-hmm.
do respect tradition. There's a lot of
Uh,
schools for it now, you know.
yeah, in Holland, it's really
No,
not so much
not so much.
appreciated. No, no, no,
I thought maybe it was the opposite, but it's not. Okay.
no, no.
Oh, I see.
Well, unfortunately, because the people in Holland, they if you tell them that a pair of shoes would cost €1,000, then they go, "Whoa, that's way too expensive because I can
Right,
buy them in the store for €50. So why does it have
right,
to be so expensive?"
right,
And then you tell them that, well, I have to work 4 weeks to make a pair of shoes.
right, right,
You
right.
should rent a plumber for 4 weeks and see
See
see what
how much
they
they,
charge you.
yeah,
Yes, and you pay them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I see, I see. Okay. No, I thought maybe a little bit, you know, that the market is also a little different, but I guess it is the same in that sense.
I
Okay.
guess. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's so great. Thank you so much for taking your time to chat with
Mm.
me. I have like so
Yes. No, it
many
was fun.
questions, but it's limited time. But it's thank you so much for taking the
Okay. Well,
time.
it was really nice to have the chat with you, Keiko.
Yeah, and the
Thanks for
whole
having
world
me.
is seeing us. All
Uh-huh.
right. Thank you again. And
Okay. Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on what you make next or what you post on
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.